Welcome back. Post game, Steelers, Texans. What a beat down the Steelers got. To add insult to injury on this game, the Pittsburgh Steelers lose Kenny Pickett, who was really doing nothing anyway, on a fourth down play that was absolutely questionable. If you ask me, 4th and 1, you're out in the shotgun trying to do something, outsmart yourself. Absolutely ridiculous at a time when the Steelers were starting to be able to run the football, starting to claw their way back into the game, down 16-6 at that time. It was time to start doing something, and the Steelers go ahead and totally fumble the game away. The game simply got out of hand. There's a couple minutes left in the game. I absolutely couldn't even watch the last 2 minutes. It was just a complete ridiculous showing from the defense, who could absolutely do nothing, the offense that could do nothing. And let's just face it, guys, this Houston Texans team is not that good. They're pretty good. They're better than I thought they were. But with the offensive line problems that the Houston Texans have, there's absolutely zero excuse for no pressure, no sacks, nothing that you could do to get CJ Stroud under pressure. And that was a big problem, a big problem. I talked on Wednesday about how the Steelers needed to come up and play some tough physical man-on-man coverage. They refused to do that. They sat back in the zone 90% of the time and totally got dismantled by CJ Stroud. The little screens, the dinks and the dunks, and then the big plays. It was a complete ass beating for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I have to eat crow because I thought this was the game that the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to come out and totally put a game together, a complete game. And I was totally wrong, totally misread this team. They're horrible. The Steelers are in trouble, guys. If you're in the Steelers fan base, the Steelers are in trouble right now. The injuries continue to just mount and mount. Injury to Pat Freiermuth. I mean, they are just getting decimated by injuries. And it's really showing, too, here. The coaching staff. And I'm not just blaming Matt Canada. I'm talking the whole complete coaching staff from top to bottom, and it starts with Mike Tomlin. The game plan was absolutely ridiculous. There was nothing that the Steelers could do. They looked out of place the whole game. They totally got outsmarted by the other coaching staff. That is very obvious. The coaching staff for the Pittsburgh Steelers, defensively, offensively, absolutely horrible. There's no excuse for Joey Porter Jr. to continue to sit on the bench and only be coming in dime situations, third down situations, because Patrick Peterson's getting roasted. Levi Wallace is getting roasted. And you got to have somebody that's a shutdown guy on one side. You have to have it. And Joey Porter seems to be that guy. I haven't got to break it down fully. It was a total dismemberment by the Houston Texans. They totally destroyed the Steelers and just cut off every limb they had and any hope they had. Yeah, bad game, guys. Horrible game. The Steelers looked horrible, and I'm not sure if they can recoup because some of these injuries that they're getting, the Pat Freiermuth injury, hamstring, Deontay Johnson hamstring, Cameron Hayward out with the surgery. The list goes on and on and on, and they're big injuries, and they're hard injuries to heal. Hamstrings are hard to heal. Presley Harvin out. Just so many, and some of the injuries are going to be really tough to bounce back from and to get guys back in the fold. One being Kenny Pickett, and I'm going to say the Kenny Pickett era might have ended right there on that field in Houston, depending on the severity of that injury, because he hasn't done anything so far this season, and I think a lot of it may have to do with scheme. The offensive line has been completely horrible, but we'll see the severity of that injury and just see where that puts Kenny, and if it's an out for the whole year type injury. Not 100% sure yet. Nobody is. But wow, guys. Kenny Pickett out. Steelers out. Going to 2-2. Got a tough game next week against Baltimore, who was looking really good in Cleveland the last time I saw. There's got to be some changes. And there has to be some changes within that coaching staff. They have to start scheming some things up, putting these players into better position. And when you're running the football, there's no excuse. You run it and just run it. Never incorporate a play action pass there when you're starting to get rolling. That was a coaching error. Like, you had them on their heels, and then you just die out. And if you're Mike Tomlin, you're deciding to settle for field goals a lot of the time when you probably maybe should take a chance to get a spark, something. You got to make some things happen sometimes. You have to manufacture your own spark. I'm going to get off here. We'll have a more detailed breakdown tomorrow on tomorrow's episode here on Mike Drop Sports. This was a horrible loss. Sad, sad display by your Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm not sure if they can recover. I'm not sure if the season should be just a Caleb Williams type bid. I'm not sure, because the Pittsburgh Steelers looked absolutely horrible. And with the amount of talent on this football team, it's a complete disgrace that the coaching staff has put them in a lot of the positions that are just wrong, and no adjustments. You didn't see anything taking place to adjust. No, I did. Dan Moore Jr., I forgot about that injury too before I sign off. But I was glad to see Broderick Jones in. I think that was a much needed move. But there has to be some adjustment. And I'm hoping maybe this is a wake-up call for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've seen them get down and out before, and we've seen them come back. We'll have to see what the injury is to Kenny Pickett. We'll have to see maybe how Mitch Trubisky plays in his stead. A lot of factors. I'm hoping there's some life, but it may be the end. Maybe the end, guys. I'm not sure. That was a bad showing. That's 2 beat downs this season already. Most teams don't take ass beatings like that. Good teams, anyway. You already got blown out by the 49ers. Now you go down to Houston and lay an egg to where you could have really took control of the AFC North with a good 3-1 record and could have been in a driver's seat, controlling your destiny. I'm really pushing forward. But the Steelers failed, and the Steelers coaching staff really, truly failed. And the Steelers players failed too, and the injuries continue to mount. So big-time things happening for your Pittsburgh Steelers. They just aren't in a good way. They're just not good big things. They're bad big things. And we'll see. We'll break us down further tomorrow. Until next time, peace.